Addressability over the last 6 years slowly started to get scale, but it's been challenging for advertisers to execute. So what we do is we aggregate all the addressable supply. So right now there's 8 MVPDs that offer addressability. It's about 63 million households. It'll be 70 by the end of the year. And basically we put all that together as an aggregator. Or if you think about us like in a digital space, like we would be an SSP bringing all the supply together. And then we make it easy for clients to action on across all of the inventory.
So is that automated? Is it manual? How does it work?
So we have automated probably 85% of the workflow is now automated. So it's been incredible. I remember back in the day that I'd be up until 2 o'clock in the morning, aggregating all these spreadsheets and PDFs myself. And we basically have a lot of that stuff automated now. So it's incredible to see what I used to do to where it is today. So our platform allows us to pull counts across all the MVPDs. It allows us to take a lot of impression data that we have. So we have about 7.5 billion impressions that are mapped to every single business outcome. So I'm able to understand what a brand wants to do, and then I could start a plan at an optimal place. And then we also have integrations with all the providers to get the back-end media delivery. So instead of even getting something simple like that in all these different PDFs, we're now able to get it in an aggregated fashion and then provide a holistic view to the client post-campaign.
So Jamie, tell us about the marketplace for addressable advertising and how that's shaping up, maybe the categories. Also, if you're selling via the agencies or brand direct, give us an idea about how the marketplace is shaping up.
Yeah, I think that because there's so much scale now and because there's such an opportunity, what we're really seeing in the marketplace is there's a huge appetite for this, but clients and agencies need a little bit of help to get there. So it's the same categories that you think. We're working primarily with agencies. Some clients are starting to take programmatic in home, and they're considering addressable programmatic. So the clients that we work directly with, they put that in their programmatic bucket. It's auto, it's CPG, it's OTC, it's financial. Basically any category, as long as it's the right use case, if a client tells us what they want to achieve, I think there's an application for addressable.
So what about the pricing and attribution and the whole value proposition? How is that charged, and how do you report on the value of it all?
Yeah, so everything, it's impression-based buying, so it's audience-based buying, and it's CPM-based. And the nice thing about having so much history and working across all the categories is I have the data to go back to the suppliers and show them what a client can pay to make sure that the ROI is going to pay out. So a category like CPG is obviously going to pay a lower CPM than auto or financial. Basically what we do is we start with the data, we identify who we want to reach. So I say I want to reach people that are in market to drive a certain car, or I want to reach people that go to QSRs for breakfast time. We start with the data and then we identify them across all the different screens. I think that you kind of have to do that now because traditional measurement isn't keeping up with consumption. So if you start with the data and then identify them across all the screens, we're able to target them across all the screens, and then more importantly, show clients for the first time cross-screen attribution of the conversion rates across all these different devices.
So there's a lot of talk about new data sets. Do you have all the data sets you want? Are you happy with the way they exist now, or are there others that you would like to have in the system?
I think there's pretty incredible data that we're able to leverage. I think just bringing data and accountability and transparency to television has been pretty incredible. I want whatever data works. So, every single campaign, you're getting to, did it work, did it not work? So I think that as long as the data is fresh and it's working for the clients, we'll continue to use it. But any data set that a client is using, we're able to integrate into the addressable ecosystem. So even if it hasn't been done before, there's ways for us to map it to device, to subscriber file, to IP, and then use it for targeting and measurement.
Including first party.
Oh yeah, first party data is either used as a targeting file, or sometimes you'll use first party data for a suppression file. But the sky's the limit. We can do anything with data today in television.
And finally, one thing we've talked about over the years is the impact of addressable on creative, maybe the way that advertising looks, the kinds of marketers that are getting into the game. What about sort of the creative side?
Yeah, the holy grail of Addressable is going to be to find the right segment and then create all these different creative executions in order for the ads to resonate at higher rates. I think the traditional creative model doesn't work because creative is too expensive. So I think there's going to have to be modifications made to efficiencies around creative so we could have different segments against different creative units. Right now, the majority of clients are only using Addressable as a means to increase frequency against high-value households simply because they can't afford to do 4 spots. And it works, but it works better than the small clients that actually create extra spots, 2 or 3. We see that it resonates at higher rates and we see higher ROI. But then when you factor in the cost of the creative, right, then the ROI goes down. So we just need to work out the creative model.
Cool. And how do you see Addressable in the mix of the upfront and sort of the marketplace moving forward?
I think that for the first time that brands are taking a serious look about data and television. I think that it helps that all the national networks now have all these data-driven products. So I think that there'll be, I don't think that it's going to move in the traditional upfront, but I think clients will hold money back for these data-driven tactics in television.